because there's going to be a huge test for you at the end.
Oh my god.
Richard sees Kahlan in trouble and he goes, fuck your test. I'm killing this guy.
Hey everybody, do you feel like it might be time to take a break?
I do, because I have a lot of thoughts and feelings.
Well, okay then. We're going to be back right after this. And we're back. So, Richard suddenly realized that he could control the magic because it was like the anger. And once he figured that out, he could control it and accept what he did and put it away on a shelf.
A state of total denial is what you're talking about. Never happened.
Basically, yep.
That wasn't me.
That was a fine thing.
That was Sword Richard. He does realize that he finally understands what it means to be a seeker. He understands the magic a little bit more now, how everything is joined together, the anger, the magic, the pain, the suffering, and all that fun stuff. And he's tasted his darkest desire, and he can't go back. I mean, this is a turning point. If Richard ever wanted to go back to being a woods guide, he realizes now that it won't ever be the same woods guide that he was before.
Right. This journey he's on, I know a lot of people, I guess myself included, hate that turn of phrase, but he's changed. This has affected him officially for the rest of his life.
Makes sense.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think any sane person can kill a guy and not be changed. You are evil if you kill a guy and brush it off like, it's just another Tuesday.
Again, he has done that.
Fair.
This might actually just be another Tuesday.
Yeah, no, fair. Yeah.
I don't know why this whole chapter everyone's acting like Richard hasn't already murdered a person.
Well, I feel like it's because of the big emotional moment that happens right after he does it, because they act like it's the first time he murdered somebody.
To be fair, Richard hasn't killed a guy before this. The fall, when he hit the ground, killed the guy. Richard just pushed him off a cliff.
He pushed him.
And then the guy was fending for himself. Richard did nothing after that. He was just like, whoop, I am pushing you 2 feet that way. Whatever you do after this is of your own accord.
He literally could not do anything, though.
And that's Richard's fault?
Yeah.
No! This is a world of magic. That guy could have been like, magic carpet, I have wings now.
It's not a world of magic. It's Westland, and nobody has magic.
I'm just saying.
I can see Aaron's point where it's not a direct kill.
Plausible deniability.
No.
Hold
on.
No.
Hold on.
It would not stand up in a court of law.
On my side, though, this is Westland. Richard knew if he shoved somebody off a cliff, they're fucking dying.
Maybe he thought it was the small cliff. He didn't know that it was the big cliff.
He's a woods guy. He knows where he is.
We've kind of established as well that he's not that great of a woods guide.
He's the only woods guide.
That doesn't mean you're good. The other thing that we realize here is Richard thinks that must have been a secret Addie told him that Zed was keeping from him.
Yeah.
That something was going to happen when he killed for the first time with the sword.
That has to be the only one he was keeping.
I don't have anything more to say about that.
Oh.
Richard and Kahlan kind of cope with the situation. Richard has realized he's the seeker. He's a changed man, and it is time to move on. He goes to grab Kahlan's hand, and it should be noted that the sword is in his other hand, still out and about. And he kind of gets a warning. The magic flows through him rather abruptly, and this is not the first time it's happened. And he kind of takes a note of this, that, something's going on here. Every time he holds Kahlan's hand and has the magic going through him at the same time, he's getting bad vibes.
He thinks about asking about it with Zed or whoever, but he realizes that he didn't in the first place because he probably doesn't want to know the answer.
And this is just another time in this chapter, but in this book, that something should have been said to one of the other people and just wasn't for zero fucking reason. Like, oh, hey, that was weird. I just touched you, and I got, like, I don't know, a jolt of electricity, or something was wrong, like I licked both ends of a battery, and that's not supposed to happen. What fucking gives, Kahlan? I won't ask you about your secret or whatever, but there's something happening we should figure out.
Well, and even like he says, he makes a note that he should ask Zed. And it's the same thing. If Zed is this close personal friend of his, asking somewhat intimate questions seems like it wouldn't be out of the norm for these two.
Right.
But,
he didn't last time.
yeah. And like you said, he realizes it might just be because he's afraid of the answer. If you can claim ignorance, then you can live blissfully unaware.
I can think she's hot as long as I want until he tells me she's my cousin.
Exactly. Exactly. And we don't need to go any farther into that. But Richard grabs Kahlan's hand, ignores the warning, and they continue on back towards the Midlands. And there's a note made that they ate as they walked, and I made a note that I have tried to grab things out of like a backpack before as I'm moving, and that is difficult.
No, it is.
Like, if you have a narrow pathway and you are doing something, eating, drinking, and walking at the same time, probably talking, holding hands, there's a lot of multitasking going on here.
I mean, Nate can attest. We've done Disney. We've done Universal together. So I feel like this is the same thing as going through the woods, trying to avoid evil forces. It's the same thing, you know? And I wanted to grab something out, but I haven't been able to. And he's had to grab things out while I'm moving, and it's not as easy as you think it is.
No.
Yeah, you go too far to the right, you run into Goofy. You go too far to the left, and it's Princess Belle. You gotta be careful. You gotta walk a narrow, straight line.
That's not a problem.
I was trying to think of evil Disney characters that would be at Disney. I'm like, they probably don't have them. Even Gaston's there, but it's because he's a goddamn awesome dude. When Disney World / Land Gaston is awesome.
Gaston.
Sorry. I'm so sorry.
I made a choice. Am I going to let him say Gaston one more time?
You
or
can't.
Should I be like,
After I talked about the e-brochures of Book and Shadows.
Right.
We have to correct
Please
you.
correct
I'm
me.
sorry.
Please correct me. That is fair. But no, so they walk along, they're eating, they're drinking, and they are hastily making their way back to the Midlands.
Yeah, and they all decide to run, which, what the fuck?
Feel like that could have been plan A. Let's just run through this and get it over with as fast as possible.
Even if they... Okay. I get original plan. They're going through the Narrows at nighttime. Don't give a shit. Run with the Nightstone, right? Or jog, right?
Nice, light, comfortable jog.
If you're able to jog through there during the day, you should be able to jog through there at night, right?
Did it ever say they can't have a torch?
No.
Did it? You guys are knowledgeable. Air quotes.
Excuse?
No, they flat up fucking just did not take one.
Yeah, a little torch. That way you can see 10 feet in front of you, so you can go at a comfortable jog. But I digress. That's neither here nor there. They take off jogging, and there's nothing we can do about it.
It doesn't matter, because I get through it just fine. So, I don't know why any of this was even a chapter.
Richard had to kill a guy.
Yeah, he had to kill a dude to
Had
get through
to
the chapter.
Had to kill a guy.
Okay.
It was a learning moment.
Couldn't he have done that without going all the way through and then back again, though, guys? Really?
Like, he could have.
You know how Richard doesn't want to ask Zed about the warning? We just got to do that here.
You can't ask us about this.
Yeah, you don't want the answer.
You don't want to know, Jade.
Yeah.
It just really felt to me like Terry did all of this and then went, you know what? Tired of all of this. Run.
Get to the Midlands.
Yeah.
And they did. They made it.
Yeah. That's exactly what happened. He was like, run. And then they got there.
Kahlan recognizes that they are in the wilds, which is in the Midlands.
I really like how Richard is like, this doesn't look too wild to me. And Kahlan's like, oh, no. It's not named after the place. It's named after the people who live there. That put me on instant alert.
And she did say, though, that none of them live by the boundary, so they don't gotta worry about them. They're a ways away. Which makes sense, because I thought the Heart Hounds should have been chasing them, but they make it clear here that the Heart Hounds are staying away because of the bones, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, the bones, the tooth and the bone
Yeah.
are keeping them safe.
Tooths are bones.
That's true. All right. You don't have to call me out on it.
No, I was verifying for my own,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. So they've made it. They're safe. And Richard, being a good woods guide, he realizes that now's a good time to make camp. And that's what he does. He finds a good spot, and they use some pine branches to keep the rain out, because apparently it's been raining this whole time.
Kahlan bitches about it, and Richard's like, no, it's cool, because we can't see the snake cloud, which means Darken can't either.
Right, which means they can't be tracked. And Kahlan makes a comment, something to the effect of, well, I won't complain next time it's rainy. I was like, no, that really only applies in this exact situation.
Just don't complain tomorrow.
Right. But furthermore, Richard, chill the fuck out. She was just be like, oh man, I like the sun. Who doesn't? Like, obviously, yes, it would be nice if it were nice and sunny. We get the situation and how it's obviously more dire than that, but calm the fuck down, man.
Well, and she does say, tell him next time to send some less rainy clouds, which he should have done in the first place, if that's an option.
That's fair. If you can
Yeah.
control clouds, seems like you would have been like, no, just send the nice, light, fluffy ones, not the rain-filled ones.
Right? Cute clouds. And then they decide they're just gonna go to sleep. They're not gonna eat. They're not gonna fuck around with anything else for the night. The cave's too small for a fire anyways. He thinks about getting out the Nightstone. He fingers it for a minute and then decides not to. And Kahlan says, hey, you delivered on your promise. Got us to the Midlands. Now what? Because, you're supposed to know all the answers, even though you didn't even know magic existed until, 5 days ago.
Kahlan says they may be a long way from somebody who wants to help them. And Richard snaps back at her. He's like, I don't care if they want to or not. We're just going to fucking make them. We just need to find somebody who is able to help. Then he realizes he's being an asshole.
Well, because he snapped at her.
Right.
It wasn't a clear, hey, what do you think? Well, I think this. And it's like, she was like, hey, so what do we do now? He's had a long day. So it was supposed to take a day and a half, or a day, was it a day and a half to get to the Narrows?
Yeah.
And then they had to go more to get to the other side. And then he turned around running, found Kahlan, killed the guy, and then grabbed her hand and turned and ran more. Richard's got to be tired as fuck right now.
Oh, yeah. He's
That
ready
is
to be
true.
done.
He needs an orange, and he needs to go lie down. Otherwise, he's going to cramp up. But he realizes, hey, I'm sorry. I've had a long day. I killed a guy.
Been dealing with some stuff.
Yeah, got some daddy issues going on. I
Yeah.
also kind of killed my dad, quote unquote, there. And I thought I lost my best friend, which is you. So, wraps up with a nice little heartfelt moment.
Which she appreciates because she gives him the special smile. And she's like, it's not easy being Seeker. I feel like she was just catering to his ego, maybe just a little bit. It's obviously not easy being Seeker. She's like, oh, my big tough guy. Did you have a long day?
Jade, you've probably said something similar to that before, haven't you?
Oh, no, I definitely have.
Those exact words, in fact.
Aw, you big tough saw guy. Aw, Nate, you biker,
I
you.
had to cut some stuff today, Jade. It wasn't easy. But Kahlan finally says that they can go visit the people called the Mud People, and they might be able to help. They might be reluctant to, and they're fucking dangerous. They don't like outsiders, and they like being left alone.
And they are specifically scared of Kahlan,
Yeah.
which kind of
Right.
raises Richard's haunches again. 'Cause
Oh,
it's
but
like,
you can't ask her what that might mean, because that would be against the rules that you fucking made up for no reason.
secrets are secrets.
I feel like he's got to be kicking himself in the ass now for that, right?
We got it. We're almost on Jerry levels now, where it's just like, we made it this far, but why didn't you tell me about so and